Digitalisation of the 21st century is the latest advance of our developing world. It gives us the opportunity to share any form of information at the push of a button, but creating new technology means destroying the old. These digital platforms seem to be having negative effects that are a result of overexposure to modern technology and to a certain extent have negatively affected society in permanent ways. This is the antisocial network. I wanted to see how technology has affected communication within my family, so I went to go see K90 and Mary 78, who have both seen this dramatic change in society firsthand. So what are your names?
Catherine Forsyth.
Mary Lynch.
When you were younger, how did you contact your friends, like outside of school?
You always lived near your friend.
Yeah.
And you could buy a tram ticket for 1 penny and you get about 6 rides with that 1 penny. Yeah, which was marvellous in the summer.
Yeah.
And when I went to school, it was the beginning of the war was on, 1940.
Yeah.
So my memories were of school, it was really always disrupted because the air raids, as soon as you'd hear the air raids, you'd go in the shelter. Yeah. And they had big shelters in the school fields, so we'd all run. And I remember we didn't have any lessons. Teacher used to read stories to keep us occupied. Yeah. And you'd never go anywhere unless you had your gas mask. Yeah. And there was never any street lights. I remember we always used to go, you had your gas mask and you had a torch. Because if you were out, that was the only way you could see along the roads. Everyone had to have the houses with black eyes, black shutters on. Yeah. So it was like making your own way with your torch home. I remember in school we were told never to pick anything out of the road that didn't, something strange you could never pick up because they were like bombs or they had whatever. So that was, little things like that you think of really, I do remember the air raid shelter.
In the back garden.
In the back garden. And my dad put lino on because there was 9 of us and we'd be running in and out and the shelter, it was just on mud. Yeah. So as a big carrier, so my dad had the idea of putting lino down. And we went in our shelter and it was that comfy. We had everything in there. We went in on the Friday night when the air raid started and we didn't come out till the Monday. And the sirens, we were that happy and singing in the shelter, we didn't hear the all clear going, so we were in an extra night. And everybody wondered where we were, and we were all stuck in the shelter, and Nanny was running in and out, my mum was running in and out with drinks, you might remember. I remember, and we had a fine time, so that it was happy. Yeah. But it was, if we'd have realised it was very, very serious, but we are happy, just happy times.
Can you tell me when the first time was that you used like a phone?
If you had an emergency, you'd phone Gawley's, the shop. You'd say, can you pass on a message? And he'd do that because he knew you, and that's how everyone helped everyone else. Yeah.
Tuppence to make a phone call in.
That's right, if
public chaos,
public phone call.
Do you think technology is affecting society?
Yeah.
Totally different now.
It's a good thing. It's good in a lot of ways, but conversation, there's no conversation. And I mean, you can visit anyone and they're on the phone, and you're talking to them and they just keep looking up, and that's one thing I can't get used to. I think it's like, well, we'd say it was ignorant, because if someone wants to talk to you, they look face to face. It's good in some ways, do you say, Ken?
Yeah,
it's good. I mean, it must be for technology, But for being
We
sociable,
don't. Yeah, we can live without it.
you can live without it, yeah.
Yeah. So would you say you prefer to talk to people face to face than over the phone?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Is there any reason why, or?
Well, you're more in touch on
Yeah.
a phone. You know, you
Yeah, you lose the subject that you come on to talk about.
For me, a phone, it's
You'd
a
be
necessity.
lost.
You would be lost.
Yeah.
But there's nothing better than someone
What's
knocking
your
on your
reason?
door
Because
and coming
they
in.
live out of Liverpool.
And the reason, that's right, everyone's spread.
Social networking doesn't just start with 13-year-olds though, and it isn't just Facebook and Twitter that are a danger in the internet world. It's estimated that in the UK in 2012, 87% of 5 to 7-year-olds are known to use the internet, which is a massive rise from only 68% in 2007. However, researchers have found that children under the age of 9 years old enjoy a variety of online activities, including watching videos, playing games, searching for information, and doing their homework. So I wanted to find out for myself if these stats were true. So I decided to ask my little sister Rebecca, who hasn't had any experience with social networking yet, but isn't far from discovering this whole new world. What's your name?
Rebecca.
What do you like to do when you get home from school?
We'll mostly go online or draw, watch TV.
What age do you think it would be good for you to get a mobile phone?
Oh, 9.
9.
Mm.
Do you like to go online?
Yes, a lot.
And what do you like to do? What you go on?
Well, I play Animal Jam. It's a game where you can create animals and then you can all go on adventures and make friends.
So are these friends real friends or are they just in the computer?
They are real friends. It's like other people playing online.
So do you talk to these people online or do you just ignore them?
Yeah, I do talk to my best friends and ask people to want to be my buddies.
Does your school teach you about the dangers of being online?
Yes.
And what type of things do they teach you?
Well, they teach you not to give out information and passwords.
Do you communicate with your friends outside of school?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Well, I go on my mum's phone and communicate with my friends.
So your other friends on her mum's phone as well?
Yes.
When you get home from school, how many hours do you think you watch TV?
About 2 or 3.
How many hours a day would you say you go on the internet?
About 4.
Well, thank you very much, Rebecca.
You're welcome.
Facebook seems to be the ruler of the social networking world, and with over 1.23 billion monthly active users in 2013 and over 757 million daily active users that are outside the US and Canada. Twitter isn't far behind either, as there are 500 million accounts and on average around 400 million tweets sent out daily. Although more than half the world are using Facebook and Twitter, Instagram seems to be the dark horse in the social networking world. However, only come out in 2010, it has over 150 million active users and over 16 billion photos posted and shared each day. Instagram started out as a popular iOS app and has transformed itself into a huge social networking necessity, available on all devices including the internet. I chose to speak to my 2 younger cousins, Zoe and Caitlin, who are constantly up to date with these social networking sites. So what are your names?
Zoe.
Caitlin.
How do you contact your friends outside of school?
FaceTime.
Text them mostly.
Yeah. And how do you like to spend your spare time? What do you like to do?
Go shopping and go to the gym sometimes.
Go out with Minnie.
Nice. So what are your jobs around the family home?
I have to do the dishes and hoover up.
Clean up sometimes.
And how often do you and your family do things together, like go to movies, shopping, anything?
Probably about twice a week.
Yeah.
Do you like doing that, yeah?
Yeah.
It's fun. At what age did you get a mobile phone?
I was in year 6.
I think I was about 8.
Do you think that's young, or is it just the right age? What age do you think is right to get a mobile?
I think about 10.
Well, I think it depends on why you get a phone. If you walk home and you're in year 5 or something, then maybe it's a good idea.
Yeah, that is right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what sites do you use for social networking? What do you like to go on?
Facebook mostly.
And Twitter and Instagram as well.
Yeah, do you both have Snapchat and stuff like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think you use more?
Facebook.
Yeah.
So how often a day would you say that you check your Facebook?
Probably like 4 or 5 times.
I'd say about 10 times just on your phone and stuff like that.
So what age did you both get Facebook?
Year 6.
I think I was 10.
And what age do you think is suitable to get Facebook? What do you think?
Well, I don't think you really need it unless you've got family, like, you know, that you can't contact, or friends and things like that.
Isn't there like an age restriction on it?
Yeah.
Just like 13.
Yeah.
So I think being the right age for it.
Yeah.
Does school give you lessons on internet safety, or do they not really?
Sometimes they do, on like Internet Safety Week and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like them lessons, or do you think they should just scrap them?
No, I think they're a bit boring, but they're good because some people don't know how to act online.
How often a month would you say you go out with friends?
Probably about 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a lot. So, do you prefer to talk to them over the phone or your social networking face to face? How would you communicate with them?
I prefer to text.
FaceTime again.
Yeah, FaceTime. So, what impact do you think Facebook has on society and young people? Is it positive, negative?
Well, I think it depends on your experiences, you know.
Yeah, it's a bit of both.
Yeah. How many times a day would you update your status or post a tweet? How often do you go on these and do stuff on
I
them?
normally just stalk people on them. I don't really
Yeah, I just go
update
through my
photos.
newsfeed.
Yeah, you like to know what's going on and stuff
Yeah.
like that, yeah. What's the purpose of your social networking site? What attracts you to it?
Just makes it easier to communicate with people, and you can see what's going on, and you can, even people who are far away, like in different countries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you believe that it's a positive thing, like the whole internet sensation? Is it positive, negative, or do you're in the middle? Or?
I think again it depends on your experience and what happens while you're on it.
Yeah. Do you know about the privacy settings on your networking sites, how to protect yourself, stuff like that?
On most of them, yeah.
Do you do that, or do you just leave it?
No, I just leave
I've just
mine.
left mine.
Yeah. What is your process for accepting people on Facebook? Do you add people that you don't speak to but you've seen, or do you just?
If
I have
it,
people who I talk to.
like if I get sent a request, I'll click on them and see if we've got any mutual friends, and if I'm good friends with them mutual friends, then I'll accept it.
Yeah. So you don't add like random people who
No.
you don't even know.
No.
Do you have any iPads, iPhones, Xbox, PlayStation 3? What have you got in your house?
I've got an iPhone and an iPad.
Yeah.
iPhone, iPad, Mac.
Yeah. How often do you go on them? Do you go on them quite a lot, all them things?
Yeah.
Would you say that's the main thing that you did when you got home, was use technology?
Yeah.
How often do you read a book?
Not very often.
I read it, but I read it on a Kindle.
Yeah. What about do you read magazines and things like that? Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Do you have a television in your rooms?
Yeah.
And how often a night would you say you watch? How many hours?
Probably like 2 to 3.
Probably about 2.
Yeah. And how many hours would you say you're on the internet?
Probably about 5, because I'm normally on the internet while I'm watching TV.
Yeah.
And what would you prefer to do? Watch TV or internet? What's your favourite thing to do?
Prefer to go on the internet.
Yeah.
Is there a particular reason why?
There's much more things you can do on the internet than you can on the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Thank you. New technology is constantly evolving into new and dynamic pathways for social media and social interaction. There are positives and negatives with each new advance, but the most important factor isn't whether the changes benefit society. It's that regardless, each new generation seems to accept the changes for their own, so that in fact it becomes routine.